Okay, so waiting for Lyle at Southeast Butcher to make his way in. I definitely put a timer on to end 25 minutes from now, so if you were waiting for this, I am ever so sorry, my bad. We are supposed to be starting at 1 o'clock my time and it's 6 o'clock Lyle's time. We is posted it that way. Put the timer correct. So I'm sorry, you'll have to watch this after the fact. Good thing with that is, here comes Lyle, and so you'll see him for the whole time too.
Hey dude, how we doing?
Hello. Good, thank you, pal. How you doing?
Yeah, good, thank you, mate. Yeah, really good.
Really good. I realised I actually made the mistake of putting the timer for 25 minutes from now.
Oh, okay.
What are you going to do?
What are you going to do? It'll be up there when they come to
yeah,
do it. So.
That's it. And also then I've obviously set up the camera. I realised, oh, so now you actually can't even see the stuff I've got set up because of course it splits the screen in half.
Oh no.
Right. Anyway, I'll move around. Right.
Hold it up as we go or something. That's what I'm going to be doing.
That's all right. Yeah. So today we're doing the cocktail sausage, which is kind of a funny one how that worked out.
Yeah.
We were chatting. We've been trying to figure out how we do this. We've had more butcher focused times, more barrel focused times, and today.
Do them both together.
Do them both together. So we kind of like started the idea of like, okay, well, let's just, you said that you're going to make a sausage. And I was like, well, it's kind of like a cocktail, right? I mean, you're really putting a pile of things in together. And so then you'd said then, okay, well, why don't you tell me what cocktail you're going to make? And obviously then I'm thinking, well, what sausage are you going to make? So I tried to give out suggestions that might go, well, I've got no idea. I don't know what goes well into a sausage. But yes, we've settled on something, and we're going to go through making a sausage and making a cocktail together.
Yeah. I mean, I think the challenge is with a cocktail, right? You want a load of fruit and all the flavour like that, which maybe paired with meat, most people really suggest. But I mean, we were talking about this book before we came on, which is a godsend. Flavour palettes are great and can really break stuff down for you. So
yeah. Instead of making all of your own mistakes, you can go through and see what someone else has done instead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no. Cool. Should we crack on then, do you reckon?
Yeah, let's crack on. So I'm going to aim my camera down just a teeny bit so that we can see what's going on down here.
I'm just going to get the pre-ground pork out of the fridge, right?
You got it. So we do have a couple of pre-ground ingredients today. So I'm going to be making a twist on something called the Artist Special, which is one of my favourite Scotch drinks. It's from, I think it was first written in 1927 in Harry McKellen's book, and it's supposed to come from like the artist bar in Paris. And we're really just making a sour. And Lyle, you've got a background in making cocktails. What on earth are you doing? What are you doing?
Pardon?
What are you doing?
Just getting a pork sausage meat into a tray.
The size of your ingredients and the size of my mixing vessel.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Industrial sizes. Let me just rinse my hands.
You got it. So I'm going to be making a twist on an Artist Special, which is really a sour cocktail, a very basic sour cocktail. Sours, any cocktail historians on here and geeks will shout at me for not saying this correctly. I'm going to keep it very, very simple. Like, for most part, sours are super simple drinks to make, and you encounter them all the time, right? It's when you take a base spirit or a mixture of spirits, typically in a 2-to-1, and then in the UK, we often use GOM, or we use a complex syrup, so you often find like a 2:1.5 ratio of spirit to then sour, which could be lemon or lime traditionally, but it could be yuzu, it could be whatever else you're going to use. And then you're going to use a half amount of your sweetener. In the US, we typically find a lot more people using simple syrups and things like that. So you're going to have to do a 2-1-1. But it's just like that basic recipe is daiquiri, 2 parts rum, 1 part lime, 1 part simple syrup. It's whiskey sour, any whiskey, but Scotch is best. And then obviously Highland Park, or if you don't want some peat, maybe Glenrothes would be great. 2 parts Scotch, 1 part lemon, 1 part simple syrup, pisco sour. 2 parts pisco, 1 part lime, 1 part sugar. Like it's the backbone of just so many drinks. Add soda water, you've got your Collins, and that's really all I'm going to be doing today.
Perfect. Sounds good. So what is this? This is the take on a whiskey sour, yeah?
Yeah, so like I said, so it's actually it's a twist on a so this cocktail from 1927, the Artist Special. It's originally made using it was written out as being a third of Scotch, a third of sherry, a sixth of lemon juice, and then a sixth of Grosset syrup, which is like red currant syrup. I don't have red currants. And we were talking about ingredients, and we thought that maybe thyme and raspberry might be a way of bringing fruit and some herbs together at the same time.
Yeah,
So
nice.
I'm going to use
stuff like raspberries, the sharpness of that, like rhubarb and stuff, will really cut nicely with this fatty pork drink that I've got here. So
right,
yeah,
right.
yes,
And that is a pretty thing, isn't it, with the raspberries? Like I was thinking there's being sweet, and the second I take a bite, I'm like, no, they're not. They're so sharp,
yeah,
so sharp.
yeah.
And so the couple of ingredients I'm going to use, I'll speak about it later. Kind of a cheating oleosacharum, which is basically when you take like citrus peel, put some sugar on it to let it macerate, and then it pulls all of the oils out of the citrus peel. I didn't have time. I forgot to do it last night. So I microplaned a pile of lemon peel and muddled it with some sugar.
Right.
And then I squeezed the lemon juice back over the sugar, and now have effectively this lemon juice and sugar in one shot. So instead of having to add lemon juice and then add my sweetener, I've kind of combined it all in one. So it's just like a very, very bright Victorian lemonade kind of thing.
Sweet. I'm also using lemons, but I'm just going to like finely grate it. Just the zest. I'm not going to use any of the juice because I don't want it to start like essentially cooking it like a ceviche.
Right.
So I'm just going to use the oils from the zest. So yeah.
Could you add so much lemon juice that you could just put these out in the shop and by the time you get it home, it's going to be cooked?
No. I mean, like, yeah, I could, but they'll taste disgusting. So, yeah.
And we've seen people make some interesting health claims recently, and that it's not worth joking about. No, if you're working with pork, cook it. Do not get home and think you can eat it. Cook it.
Butcher and Barrel told me I could eat it raw.
Yeah. No, we didn't. No, we did not. No, we didn't.
Okay, cool. I'm working with a 10-kilo batch of sausage meat, so my ratios are 4 lemons. I'm using dried and fresh thyme. I want the dried to give that earthy flavour, but then also the floral effect of the fresh thyme as well.
Nice.
Using about 500 grams of fresh raspberries. I'm a little bit apprehensive about the fresh raspberries with the little seeds. Should have been a bit more prepared and made like a raspberry syrup as well, but then I think it might have been a bit too sweet.
Right.
But,
do you have like a fine strainer or anything?
No. I should have got one.
It's not really a big thing that I guess you use in a butcher shop, is it? Yeah, you need like a chinois or a cheesecloth.
Got a little bit of Highland Park 12 here to give it that nice smoky flavour once it's in there. Hopefully, that's the idea. And then just some nice fresh cracked black pepper. So,
right.
Yeah.
Thank you for reminding me because I actually forgot to get that, and I've been. I'm still going to do it. So I decided to serve this up. So I'm going to serve it not over ice. I was thinking of doing it in a rocks glass. So I was thinking of adding soda or making it like a Collins kind of cocktail. I was like,
okay,
no.
So that's the technical term for that. Isn't serving it up means no ice.
Yeah, not on ice. You know, and then typically it's going to be neat as well if it's not on ice. But obviously it's not neat because it's a mixture of a paar different things. But I've heard people use the word up actually in numerous different ways. I've always just thought that they meant that they wanted it in like a coupette or a martini glass or some kind of conical glass without any ice.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
Like you can have, you know, if you have Negroni, I presume someone would probably give it you in a martini glass. Otherwise, I'd say you can have a Negroni, but no ice in a rocks glass. I don't know.
Right.
Okay. Whatever. All right.
Should we start blending, like mixing?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Right. First thing I'm actually going to use. So you're using Highland Park 12. I'm actually going to be using Highland Park Magnus. You can't actually get this in the UK. This one's been only aged in American oak sherry casks, and it has a little less peat comes through in it as well. I'm using 25 milliliters. I would have done this in ounces, and then said 30 milliliters to you, which is the closest whole number that I'm going to use for it. But I only have 50 mils of oleo, so I'm going to have to stick with mils.
Nice.
So how did you get to that mix? So what's in that mix there now? How did you get it to look like that?
So we get whole sides of pork in, and then we break them down in the shop. So this is leg trim with like some hand of pork, which is like from the shoulder. And then we minced it once, and then we've got a gluten-free, preservative-free seasoning that goes into it. You really mix that by hand, or we have a machine that mixes it, and that just really starts to break the protein down. As you can see how sticky this is. that stickiness is like the protein of the meat. So
Oh, interesting.
that'll make it like loose and tender and things because you're starting to break the protein down. Yeah, and then we mince it again to get it really nice and fine. Yeah, and then we're at this stage.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Cool. And so you're gonna zest in 4 lemons. So
yeah, so this will take me a little bit of time. And
this one on my side, like I mentioned, this oleo, you know, something that you can totally do at home. Just get out like a Y peeler or just a vegetable peeler. Peel a lemon. Grapefruit works well. Blood orange works really well. Any kind of citrus can work really well. Peel it. Put over a couple of teaspoons of just like white sugar and just like really mix it in with your hands. And then the sugar will start to pull out all of the oils from the lemon. You'll effectively end up with like this kind of like lemon oil syrup, right?
And it's also something that you can buy if you don't want to make it, but I guess it's better if it's made.
I actually don't know who sells it. I don't think I've actually. But it's the kind of thing that, like, you know, you bought, like, if you're going to be juicing some lemons at home anyway, you know, don't waste that. You know, peel it off or do what you're doing. Use a microplane and even store it or bake it into a cake or put it into bread. I don't care. But it's, you know, instead of wasting all that citrus peel, you can't just throw it into your compost because it takes forever to break down as well. So, so for me, I just used 1 lemon, which gave me around about 25 mils of lemon juice. Again, microplaned the whole thing. Took a couple of teaspoons of sugar, muddled that together until it was almost like a paste. And then I poured that lemon juice into that water, into the sugar syrup, or the sugar and peel, and then effectively added some water just to then reincorporate it and break it back down so it ended up being the syrup. So I'm actually going to put that in. I'm going to put that in now. I'm going to do this in a very weird order. So I've got 50 mils of that here. Again, if you didn't have any of this, this could just be 25 milliliters of a simple syrup. What is a simple syrup? Take 1 cup of water, 1 cup of sugar. You can heat it up if you want. You don't have to, I guess, and you can just wait, you know, stir it until it mixes together, and then you have a simple syrup. That simple syrup will work with any spirit, any like sour citrus, lemon or lime, in a 1-to-1 ratio, and then you can just tweak it how you like it. If you like your drinks more sour, pull back the sugar. If you like it sweeter, just dial up the sugar. But that's going to get you like 75% of the way there.
Nice. Okay, cool. Sweet. Before, I might get timed out on this, but I'll join you again. If I go, that's why. But I'm coming back. All right.
Okay.
Okay. Bear that in mind. Right. What's next? What are you adding next?
Okay. So I dropped in my oleo, sugar, and you know, syrupy thing. I'm probably going to I'm going to add in the sherry now. Normally I would use a dry oloroso for this. I'm actually using a medium Amontillado today. Reason being, this is actually going to be a tiny bit sweeter, and it's because I know that my my kind of like oleo mix has come out particularly sour this time, just because I didn't follow the recipes. I improvised in a short notice, so I've just put in 25 mils of that. So basically, we're taking, instead of using, you know, 50 mils of scotch or 2 ounces of scotch, like often people will refer to it as a split base. Right? Instead, we're using 25 scotch, 25 sherry. The sherry is going to help bring down the total ABV of the drink and make it not only delicious, but also lower in alcohol, which is better for everyone.
Nice. Okay. Excellent. Very much more scientific than making sausages. Yours is.
Yeah, well, like I think of it this way, right? Whenever I'm cooking, I think of cocktailing as baking, and I think of cooking as cooking. Or like what you're doing is cooking, right? You can make a tweak here and you can make a tweak there. You can be a little bit more like this and that. With baking, if you've been baking for years, like I see the spinning bartender joined guy by the name of Doug. Doug's a phenomenal bartender. Doug can work like a cook behind the bar because he knows intimately these modifications and tweaks that are going to happen. But if you're not used to doing it, just follow the recipe. Don't mess around with your baking. You know what I mean?
Yeah, nice.
Cooking, I'm confident to throw a few things in and try it out because I know the flavors that go well together, this and that. And it's not going to be tragic, but I don't do that when I'm baking. I stick to the recipe.
Yeah, nice. Just being down here.
You said that you were going to get timed out. We've got a zoom on the side, and I can see Lyle working his way through. Oh, there he is.
I was just saying, being down here next to this whiskey and the lemon, I'm really getting that sour, like whiskey sour kind of notes kicking up at me. I'm quite enjoying it down here. Very nice. Cool. Like I said, I've got my whiskey in already and my lemon zest, so maybe I'll go ahead and add the raspberries.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. So quite a bit in there of those. I'm just going to add all my ingredients because mine will take quite a long time to mix together and break down.
Got it.
Is smelling really fruity. I'm really intrigued to see what this is going to turn out like.
Well, I'm gonna drop my raspberries. I'm gonna take a much longer time. I'm gonna use a whole 3, a whopping 3, Lyle. I'm gonna drop them in one by one just to make myself go a little bit slower here for you.
Right.
So is this something that you do normally typically do by hand, or are you usually going to be doing this like in a machine? And for anyone that's just tuned in, I'm making a cocktail. Lyle's making some sausages, and we are kind of making them together. So we've kind of brought together the same ingredients. So going into Lyle's mix that he's mixing now, we've got some Highland Park 12, we've got some pepper, black pepper, we've got some raspberries, we've got some lemon zest, like microplaned lemon peel. And we've got some thyme as well.
This is so fruity.
I don't think you can send this. I'm good to me. I don't think you can even send this to me to try.
Yeah, I know, right? Might be a bit perished by the time I get there. But,
yeah, I don't. I'm not sure that they really want to be flying with much dry ice in the pack.
I'm sure your border customs as well wouldn't really appreciate it.
Probably not. Yeah, I think a meat product, an English meat product, and then we probably wouldn't be listing it. So yeah, all kinds of bad. Let's not do that. I'll just have to get back over there when it's safe to travel. Sorry, so I was asking, is this normally an all done by hand process, like sausages that you pick up in the shop? That it's not somebody doing this.
So, like I said, the first process is done on the machine, and when we start to make different flavors, so we do like an Italian, which is garlic, fennel, chili. We do a Toulouse, garlic, red wine, parsley, and bacon. Once we're getting onto the stage of adding the different flavors, then we mix it by hand. So it's a lot smaller batches by then. So on a typical week, we probably make about 120 kilos of sausages, most probably.
Wow.
So that's quite a few, and you don't really want to be mixing that by hand. And to get a good, consistent product, we can put it into the mixer, set a timer for it, so each batch gets minced and mixed at the same sort of time as each other. So,
right.
Yeah.
And you explained where like all of the bits are coming from for the sausages that you're making. I'm guessing that's also not the case if I'm just buying it in the supermarket.
Pardon?
I'm guessing that it's probably not the same places that meat is coming from. If I'm getting in the supermarket, is it probably?
So we get all of our pork from a small abattoir, independent abattoir, up on Burton on Crouch, which is like north end of like Suffolk, Essex kind of border. They work with a Blythe pork, which is a mixed breed of a large white and then a Durdock. So the Durdock is like the rare breed animal, so that's where you get all the flavour and the nice fat cover. The large white, as you can imagine, is a larger pig. So if you're using it in like a butcher shop or a retail aspect, it's a lot better for you because you get more meat for what you pay per pig.
Effective.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So.
Right.
Yeah. But they're really nice. Like super nice pigs as well. Great fat coverage on them. There's about that much fat cover on each chop. I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing in the States. I don't know.
I've got no idea. I remember when I first got here, and you can't actually get like a big piece of ham that's uncooked most of the time in the States. Right. If you want to, it's all pre-cooked. I've never understood it.
Fair enough.
Just different.
Yeah, nice. Right, so I'm about mixed in here. I've got a nice, good consistency, and it's got a nice pink hue to it, actually.
All right.
So I'm going to go ahead and load it into the sausage machine, which is this big drum thing here.
Well, whilst that's happening, I'm going to get some ice in the shaker and shake this up. I'll talk a little bit about just the shaking process. I'm using a cobbler shaker today, or the traditional 3-piece shaker. These are things that lots of people have at home. I'm a really big fan of them. I like the romance of like these nice old-fashioned things. You just want to put it together. It's really got a strainer built into it. It doesn't have as much space as the Boston shakers that we were used to using. We're using either a tin or a tin of glass. But you know, you're making a cocktail for yourself at home, everything's self-contained. You don't want to put things on and wallop it on because you'll break it and kind of like keep it in there. But, you know, once it's in, you just...
Is that better for like keeping it cold, like the cold conducting like that, as opposed to a glass?
Honestly, mate, the amount of ice, you're filling this in with ice that you've only used once. If it's coming from your freezer at home, it's probably really, really cold. Like, fill it really pretty full. By the time you put the cocktail in, like, the bottom of this is already freezing over. After a couple of shakes, it's going to be so cold that it's not going to be diluting a whole lot because I've, like, flash chilled everything, basically. You know, the more space there is in the shaker, potentially the more aeration, potentially the, you know, the more you might end up pounding your ice. If you've underfilled it, it might chip. You could end up with over dilution. Honestly, like, you'd have to have a really good palate. You'd have to, like, at that point, when you get to that level of concern for at home, you should be opening your own bar. Shaker, ice, shake it, stirring it, right? So, you know, just hold it like this, almost like Spidey going, just holding it like that, and then just placing your thumb on the top.
Good rhythm.
I think I've actually shaken a cocktail kneeling down before. Yeah, it's already going to keep all of the ice back, which is great. I am going to use a fine strainer. I'm not a big fan of having shards of ice to have to, you know, go on top of my drink. There, you can see it, but so mine won't quite have the same pink hue that your sausages will have.
Nice. Have you put whole raspberries into that as well?
Yeah, I only put 3 in because I was concerned of the acidity already. So it's coming out with more of like a, because of the sherry that I put in and the oleo, it's coming out more with this like orangish hue almost, like pink orange. So this is what I'm having. The nice thing for me is that I can actually drink mine now. You cannot eat, again, at home, you cannot eat your raw sausages. You did not hear that from Butcher and Barrel. So yeah, artist special, bit of a modification, the cocktail sausage, I guess. So we're using Highland Park 12, some sherry, some lemon, some simple syrup, or an oleo saccharum if you've got one, and then 3 raspberries in the mix as well. And there you have it. Cheers, mate. Oh, that is a great eye opener for this time of day. I could have used a lot more time. Sorry. I should have put a lot more time in this because I'm only getting a faint bit. And I think it would have been so much better against the raspberry. But it's like great raspberry, like tartness is coming through. This is great. Nice.
There's good colour on it.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I could drink it too quickly.
Needs anything more, or were you quite happy with it?
It came out. This one came out slightly tart. I knew that it would. But honestly, it's 1 in the afternoon here. It's low alcohol. I'm happy for something that's an eye opener and is just going to keep me up and up. So what are you pulling now? You're pulling the casing, right?
Yeah. So we use natural casings. So that's like the actual pig's small intestine. I know it's quite large, but the small intestine weirdly is called the small intestine, but it's actually bigger than the large intestine. I don't know why someone thought that. I don't know.
So has that been processed?
Yeah, heavily. Yeah. So, well, I say heavily, but to the extent that it's gone off from the abattoir to a third-party kind of like specialist place that clean it all, and then bleach it as well. But because otherwise you'll literally just have shit in it. So.
Got it, but it's not been like broken down and then reconstituted. I mean, it is literally this.
No, so that would be a collagen case, and that's made from like taking the hide and ripping the hide and recreating that. So when you get like a really like a frankfurter, that's like that'll have a collagen case.
Got it.
So, and that's why sometimes they pop as well with collagen cases because they can't breathe. It's like a mechanically made thing. Whereas this is obviously you can do osmosis and stuff.
So it's like semi-permeable, so even steam can escape. It's not going to explode.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow. Never thought about things like that.
I'm ready to go. I don't know how quick the guys have left this on the machine pedal, but yeah. So pretty much in here, I pushed all the air out of inside the barrel. And there's literally just the sausage meat and then a platform that pushes up and then out this spout. It's pretty rudimental stuff, but it's efficient and it works. So why change it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
There we go.
Cool.
Yeah. So So this is just piping it off into a large skin, like your traditional kind of like pork sausage size.
I'm not going to lie, mate. It looked pretty disgusting.
Yeah, nice. So that's one run off. I made this look very easy. I mean, like, do you remember the God, what's the TV program? Generation Game. Do you remember
Yes.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the challenges at the end to pipe off sausages. Remember that?
Nope. Do not remember that.
Mental. But yeah, like when we get people who've never done it before have a go, it's like they look at it and think, "Oh, that's easy," but it's not that.
I will say I much prefer seeing it once it's been tied into individual sausages than because I have a dog.
The context of how long an intestine is from here, like
it's amazing.
You never really think all of this fits in here. Like,
yeah, that's incredible.
But yeah, I'll just pipe this one off, and then I'll link them up so you can see how you link a sausage as well.
Yeah. Hence why the name are getting some links to throw into the barbecue.
Pardon?
Hence where the name Links comes from.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow.
Yeah, what are we thinking of calling this?
Oh gosh. Well, I think it's going to be something about the cocktail. At least is a riff on an artist special. So we've got that as an option. Honestly, there was I thought there was something pretty funny about the cocktail sausage, and it's not actually like a cocktail sausage.
Okay, yeah.
I thought that was pretty funny. I don't know.
Confused quite a few people here, I think.
It would, yeah. I like a good misnomer though.
Perfect. Pardon?
I like a good misnomer.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I am piped off. Let me just put this back on the runner.
Yeah. Okay.
Right, cool. I can hear you again now. Cool.
Okay,
so
you've got one massive sausage basically now.
Yeah, exactly. Like just like a really long thing. So quick 101 lesson on how to tie sausages, and I expect you to be able to do this next week, okay? So stateside, you guys like them like this, just individually tied, and then you do like a little spin like this to get them all super uniformed and like that. That's how you guys do it. Over here, well, this is how I tie them anyway. For speed and efficiency.
Yes, that is how we have them. Thank you.
Huh?
You're right. I haven't even noticed that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you make your three like little links. So I've got three sausages here, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3. You bring that one to this one, twist it, bring the other one up to it, go over, bring it back down to measure it, so you get the same sort of size, and then scooch it back up through, so you get another one here, pinch it there, twist it, and it's literally just repeat it over and over again, eh?
Do you do much knitting at home?
I know, I should do. I think, what do you reckon? A nice Aran knit jumper, or, yeah, lovely.
Yeah. Sausage link jumper.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think the dogs of the southeast London would love me, or if I walk around in a sausage jumper. And I might get a few crazy looks, but hey.
Yes. As long as you're wearing a mask, you won't get any crazy looks, Lyle. Don't worry.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But no, that's literally how you make a sausage, really. And I mean, like, these look great. I thought they would be a lot pinker, but they might come with colour like overnight once they hang overnight to really like mix all the flavours together. They might brighten up a little bit.
Yeah. Amazing.
No. I'll let you know how they taste.
Yeah, that's it. Anyone out there, if you can swing by, do go through, try it, send us messages, let us know how they taste when you cook them at home. Maybe once after this, what we can do in the comments is we'll put in the recipe for the we'll put the recipe for the sausages and the recipe for the cocktail as well.
Yeah.
So that if you do make it to the shop and you end up buying them and you want to try the cocktail at home, you can do that too. And if by some miracle you are capable of making sausages at home, you can also try that too.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll be selling these in the shop like for the rest of the week. So, well, once they're gone, they're gone. So, yeah, if anybody is local.
Yeah. Well, I think Mr. Vickers has already volunteered to try a few, so we can have both make the cocktail and make the sausages and let us know how it goes.
Oh yeah, that's it. We can do a little pairing. I'll get him online with you because we're allowed to meet now.
Oh, there you go.
You know, we're not breaking any laws.
You lucky man. Well, great. So that was Butcher and Barrel. I think it's number 5, the cocktail sausage. We had a cocktail made using some Highland Park Magnus, some Amontillado sherry. Would normally use Oloroso because that's what we use to make our casks, but I knew it was going to be sour, so I used a medium dry instead. Some raspberries and kind of like an oleo saccharum, so like lemon zest, sugar, lemon juice mix. And Lyle, do you want to take us away with what was in the sausage?
In the sausages, we had fresh thyme and dried thyme, 4 lemons, just the zest, not the juice, fresh cracked black pepper, Highland Park 12, and the raspberries, about 400, 500 grams of raspberries.
Love it.
And obviously sausage meat. Yeah, otherwise
it's worth saying as well that it was pork, because again, in the States, huge amounts of beef sausages, huge amounts of turkey sausages, huge amounts of chicken sausages as well. So, grand. Thank you so much. Okay. Good to see you as always. And we'll post up again for the next time that we are together.
Perfect. All right, dude. Good fun.
Great. Yeah. Okay. Well, cook them. Give me a call. Let us know how they go, and would love to tune in with you an hour while you taste them.
All right. Okay. Cheers, dude. See ya.